Hey, this is the Foothill BCA Pool League Championship Saturday, our heads-up division, and this is the second semi-final match between the runouts and the road players. Runouts are captained by Tim Padgett. The road players are captained by Bonnie Luong. The first player up here racking the balls, that's Raphael. Can't tell who he's going to play just yet. And we're at the Golden Q Billiards in South El Monte, California. Our gracious host, Ken Hoshide, with POV Pool, Daniel Bush, Geraldine Thibodeau. And to remind everybody, our heads-up division plays without a handicap. They're playing a combination or a mix of 9-ball and 10-ball with all the appropriate rules. And I'll be joined here by Frank the Barber Almanza.
Hello, Mr. Harper.
Notable championship 1-pocket player, 9-ball player, straight pool, 8-ball, especially bar box 8-ball.
Bar box is the game. Huh?
The little track. Now our other division in the background, which is named Big Track, that's because we play on 9-foot equipment. And this is Bonnie Luong, team captain for the road players, playing against Raphael.
And this is the first game.
This is the first rack, yeah. And this is the second semifinal match. The winner of this match will join the Centennials in the championship match. The runner-up in this match will play the Railbirds to determine third place.
For second and third.
For third.
Third and fourth.
Correct. The top 3 teams do receive some prize money. The championship team also gets a nice big trophy. The 4th place team gets a handshake, and we hope to see you back next season.
But look at all the fun they had.
Yeah. And it is a BCA sanctioned league, so of course if they play 8 matches during the regular season, they qualify themselves to compete at nationals. And Raphael makes a 2-9 combination to close out the first rack, so 1-0 for the runouts. That was pretty exciting, the end of the last match.
Yeah, and I got a chance to see it go all the way to the spot shot contest. That was interesting.
Now, somebody had said to me that the Railbirds were ahead 6-2 in that match. I remember seeing it at 8-4.
8-4 is what I remember.
Yeah, and the Centennials come back to tie it up, knot it up at 9-9, so they go down to the spot shot round. And the score in the spot shot round was three successful spot shots to the Centennials and just 1 for the Railbirds. So that ended the Railbirds' chance at the championship match. But they'll be back to play in the 3rd place match, see if they can earn themselves some prize money. I'm sure they're not feeling too good about how that last match went by the sizable lead they had, so I think they want the opportunity to redeem themselves maybe a little bit. In the background, we still got Big Track semifinal match still going between Feltfish and Great Balls of Fire. I think it's coming down to just 1 or 2 games that's going to finish that one.
So the winner of this match here is into the finals with
Correct.
With the team that just won the first match.
Correct. And that'll be at 4:30. And that's not only for the title, but of course the 3 prize monies, 1st place, 2nd place, and 3rd, are quite a bit staggered, so the top money is pretty good. And you got Bonnie looking to cut this 1 ball in the corner pocket. Maybe use the 3 to slow the cue ball down. Raphael here is a new player to our league this season, but he's proven himself to be pretty formidable.
All right, I'll call you back. Sorry about that.
I was just saying, this player, Raphael, that's shooting, he's a new player for us in our league. This is his first season, and he's proven himself to be a pretty formidable opponent, one of the stronger players in the division, and I never heard of this guy, you know, and he just comes from the same neck of woods that Tim's over in.
Oh, okay. Well, I was watching him warm up on one of the other tables a little while ago, and he looked very impressive.
There are a couple of smaller rooms and bars up in the Monrovia area that seem to have a couple of sleepers coming out of them. And Bonnie here has won our top lady prize at least once. And I think last season, the top lady, the straightest lady shooter overall in one of our divisions last season.
Well, I've seen her play before. Very, very impressive. Plays good, disciplined.
Yeah, she's definitely on the improve and looking to compete in some of the semi-pro weekend events and see whether it's a possibility to work her way into some of the WPBA stops at some point. Her husband, Daniel, plays pretty damn well himself. They're a power pool couple.
Power pool couple.
Power pool couple. Yeah, you think you got one beat, and they say, no, play my spouse. It can go either way. They both play pretty close. Looks like we got a few more people in the room. With our 1:30 matches starting, we grew by about 10 people in the room.
There's quite a few.
And they've got an event, a smaller event in another part of the pool room as well. So the place is pretty packed. I understand the parking lot is pretty tough to get into at the moment. Not bad for a Saturday, just afternoon.
And I noticed that the tables, they play real nice. Good equipment here. Nice equipment.
Yeah, I've always liked playing over here. Plus with, pool-friendly ownership. The owner's a pretty fine player himself. It's nice when you got pool room owners that are players themselves. They tend to favor having competitive events and keep the equipment up generally.
Yeah, Ken Hoshida you're talking about.
Yeah. I think, and I hadn't realized Kenny's owned this pool room over 25 years.
Is that right? That long?
I would have guessed closer to just 20, but they said no.
Well, Ken and I used to work together.
At Pac Bell?
At Pac Bell. Yeah.
And there's no longer a Pac Bell even now.
I was thinking that we were playing 10 ball in this match here. If not, the 9 ball is a pretty good shot to play it right now with a Karen if she can't make the 4 ball.
Yeah, you actually had quite a good pool playing group back out of that Pacific Bell office that you worked at, or in the area anyway.
Yeah.
I think you kind of took a few players under your wing here and there, and training some of these guys.
Well, pool is that kind of game that once you get where you can get somewhat proficient at it, it's going to hang with you for years. You'll play the game for who knows, maybe the rest of your life. it's that kind of game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those rare things that even as we get older, it doesn't mean you can't do it anymore. You know, I know some folks that maybe they bowled, and just at a certain age, it just became too much of an issue. The ball's too heavy, or repetitive motion, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And they have to move on to something else. Now you can pretty much do this until you're done.
Yeah, well, as you get older, you need to keep your mind active, and it does keep your mind active because you're always trying to make decisions on what you're going to do on the table.
Yeah.
But also physically, because you're going to walk a good distance, walking around the table when you play for 3 or 4 hours. So it's at the same time, it's good exercise.
It's an underappreciated physical endeavor. I'm looking forward to, at some point, dipping my toe back into the one-pocket waters so that I can start stimulating my mind a little bit more with this game. 9-ball's a little too redundant.
Well, yeah, the 9-ball, when it gets to a certain point, it's pretty much, excuse the term, but I say like a no-brainer, because the table tells you what to do.
Yeah, you just got the same repeating patterns over and over and over.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it takes a lot of skill to play 9-ball because you got to be able to pocket balls, move the cue ball, make those cut shots, bank the balls and all. But the table pretty much tells you what you need to do. But when you play other games like one pocket or 8-ball, I mean, there's a little bit more strategy involved. There's more discipline.
Creativity. A lot of creativity in there, too. I like that. It doesn't look like there's too much she can do here. I'd probably try to cut that 6-ball all the way up to the head rail, put a little bit of high left on it, and get the cue ball back to where the 6 is now. Looks like actually she tried something like that, but she just ran into the 7.
Yeah, it was hard to get past that 7, I believe you. Well, now we get to test his skills out here because he's got an open table, and he has a combination to start with.
I wonder if this player that we're watching here, he might have actually picked up this game elsewhere outside of the country. In talking to him, I don't think he's native here, and I don't know, watching the way he plays, it's a little bit different.
He almost looks like a snooker player the way he addresses the balls.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, you notice that sometimes when you watch a player, you can pick what part of the world they're from just by their stroke.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We just got word that Raphael might be from Belgium and a former snooker player.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
No surprise there, right?
I don't think she has anything on the 10-ball here because I don't think she can draw it. She has to draw to get over there with that distance. It's just too hard. But she might be able to use the 10-ball to slow the cue ball down and keep it in that area.
She might be able to put the cue ball right behind the 10-ball and just bank the 7 back up. Well, looks like it's going to work out.
Yeah. That was a huge safety right there. It puts her in a position to win this game if he doesn't hit it.
And being a snooker player, he probably doesn't own a jump cue.
He was fortunate to get a good hit and a good lead.
You ever done that before? Like you're playing a match, maybe some sort of an action match, and you didn't bring a jump cue, and borrow your opponent's?
You know what? It takes a lot of nerve to ask your opponent if you can borrow their jump cue.
I've done it. I got to pick my opponent for that maneuver, just right. I've also had the ones that offer, and no, I don't want to use it.
No, I don't think I would have the nerve to ask my opponent if I could borrow their jumpsticks. Let me borrow your jumpsticks so I can beat you with it.
Well, as much as it is moving the balls on the table, this is a psychological game, you know? There's a little bit of gamesmanship maneuvering in that.
Well, Bonnie's got a chance to win this game. She's got ball in hand on the 7 ball.
Yeah, I like her to run out from here. The balls, 9 and 10 being fairly close to the pockets. Just got to get a good shot on, or a good angle on the 9.
That's a nice angle on the 9.
Yeah. Do you like following 2 rails? Or do you like just going 1 rail?
No, I like the 2nd rail because it's more natural. That's the way the cue ball wants to go, so you might help it a little bit and make it go that way.
Yep, she heard you.
Now, if she was a left-hander, this would be a piece of cake.
Well, and this is when, I think she and I had talked about it before, she needs a cue extension.
Yeah.
So it's one thing to use the bridge, you know, but the bridge gets you using that, like, dart style of stroke. It's real difficult to control, and, you know, if you don't have to use that, I wouldn't want to.
Oh, no.
So if you got a cue extension, you use a normal stroke.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I always advise people that they should always take, in their practice, take the bridge and hit with the bridge a good number of times so that you get accustomed to it. Because when do you use the bridge? Only when you need it in a game. Do you ever practice with it? No, you need to.
Right.
Very nice. Very
Good
nicely
shot
done.
by Bonnie with the bridge.
Very nicely done.
So that's 1 game for the road players. We're
1-1.
tied at 1-1. This will be the first time we're seeing Tim Padgett this time. His team made it to the playoffs last season, and they realized that they need to practice spot shots as they lost both of their matches on him last time. So they've had a whole season now to work on it. And watch, they probably won't need it. They may not shoot one.
Well, Tim Padgett's getting the first break on the 9 ball.
And I love this guy's break shot. I've always loved it. Whenever he gets his game in tune, just the way he breaks the ball, and it's just so damn noisy. I like it. He just looks like he's doing something. The ball didn't go in, but he sure looked like he was doing something, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I always have liked his mannerism at the table, the way he addresses the ball. He plays everything with confidence.
Bonnie, can you move that? You're in the shot. And Tim had been well retired as a pool player for quite some time. Tim works in the industry. He's a fine custom cue builder, works for one of the big distributors, but hadn't been playing much himself in quite a long time. So we got him out of retirement, and his stroke just finally this season, this is his 2nd season, or maybe 3rd season he's played with us, his stroke's starting to look a little bit like it used to.
Yeah, for people who don't know, he was Padgett Cues.
Mm-hmm. And he was also a teammate of yours, wasn't he, with a BCA national championship team?
We played, it was the McDermott Team Open in the late 80s, early 90s that was going on at the Imperial Palace in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. And yes, we did win national championships with that team.
Now, was Ken on that team?
Kent Hoshida, yes.
Yeah, the owner of this pool room. Ken was on that team as well. And I think you might have had Bobby
Yamasaki,
who's also a national bodybuilding champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's him.
Who else did you have on that team? I think I saw a picture not long ago, and I knew it all but
Well,
one.
one player, one of the teams that we took up there that I was in, Rafael Martinez was on that team.
That's a pretty strong player, notable, yeah. And this is Joey Mejia that we're watching here playing against Tim Padgett. And Joey, interesting thing about Joey here, he's a good upcoming player, likes a lot of one pocket, but the super interesting thing is he's Ronnie Allen's nephew.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ronnie, unfortunately, passed away not too long ago. But Joey picked
player.
Joey picked up some pool bug.
That's good.
But it's funny that he likes one pocket real well too. And I don't know that they knew each other too well, but he likes one pocket.
Well, you know, Tim Padgett and I traveled around a lot together, up to Washington and a lot of parts in the West Coast. One match that we had in that McDermott, as a matter of fact, it was the match that advanced us to the finals with Tim Padgett playing. It was the last game he's playing against Billy and Cardona. Mm-hmm. And Padgett just needed a few balls to win the game. It was one of those games where they count the games by balls.
The points, yeah.
Playing 8 ball. And what it was is that Cardona needed to run out. So we were undecided whether we should have Tim break the balls hard and make balls or play soft.
On the break shot?
On the break shot. But breaking hard and breaking dry would give Cardona the chance to run out.
Yeah.
But Tim broke the balls a ton. I mean, he really broke the balls hard, real well. So we decided to, let's let him go ahead and go with the strength. And
let him do what he knows. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he broke dry. And Cardona run all the balls on an incredible out that Billy did, and got on the 8 ball and missed it. I think he just kind of shot a little bit too quick. Well, it was one of those shots that he had to slide past another ball, but he wound up clipping that ball. But I think he just took it a little bit for granted and missed it. And then Padgett ran out from there. Incredible. I used to kid Tim all the time. Well, you know, the problem is why you missed that ball is because you're left-handed.
I actually had one guy that came into my shop at one time that says he kept missing something. And I said, well, that's just because you're playing on a left-handed table. And can you believe he was dumbfounded by what I said, and he bought into it for the longest time. And I held out from saying anything to him as long as I could, you know. He thought I was serious. Well, Tim gets out there. His team pulls ahead 2-1. Run-out's in the lead.
So, as far as you know, is Padgett still doing cue sticks or repairs, or?
I think it's very, very part-time. You know, maybe very little. Very little.
He was making real nice cues, good playing cues. I just guess maybe the cue business is a tough business to be in.
Anything billiard related, you know, to make a business out of it is pretty rough. It's got to be 100% a passion for you first, because there's financially speaking, there's not really much going on in there.
I'm gonna see that, yeah.
So it almost doesn't matter what somebody's doing, whether they're building pool cues or teaching or playing or anything like that. It's not a good living. You do it because you love it. And then Timmy, he's got a wife and children, and that's not exactly, probably not going to cut it. Just the pool cue thing. But for a time, he gave it a good strong go for a time, full time. I mean, he's a hell of a good cue builder, and had a full-time shop out in Arcadia, California. For a number of years, he had that place.
Well known too, big name.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of his cues ended up during the time that the market in Japan was super strong. Most of his cues went out there. You'll see some of his cues here and there around this area, but he was hugely popular in Japan.
Well, I have a cue. It's a Schrager, and I've had it for years.
That's Tim's mentor.
But right, as a matter of fact, it was basically done by Tim when he was
working with the
Schrager name. Yeah.
And Bert Schrager, he's more than a notable cue builder, because so many great cue builders sprouted off from him as apprentices.
That's true.
Including Tim and I think Jerry McWhorter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's a whole laundry list. Somebody put once up on the internet like a tree, the Schrager tree, and what branches sprouted off from it. It was just astounding how many great and notable cue builders came from Bert.
A lot of branches coming from there, yeah.
Yeah. And Bert passed away just some years ago, maybe somewhere around 5 years back. You still play with that Schrager, don't you?
I still have it. I still play with it.
Yeah. That's the cue you had when I met you, and that's 30 years ago.
I still play with it. But throughout the years, I've made a lot of modifications to it to be completely tailor made for me. A bunch of little changes.
Tim now works for one of the larger distributors of billiards equipment. They distribute worldwide, and they primarily, I think, deal in pool tables and billiard supplies in general. But let's say whenever somebody has a cue stick that has an NFL team on it or something like that, it probably came out of their warehouse. They also have the exclusive distribution on Q-Tech cues. So Tim, as far as I understand, had quite a bit to do with the development of Q-Tech's R360 shaft. A lot of back and forth, of course, because of his knowledge, not only as a cue builder, but as a player. His feedback is invaluable, and spends a lot of time at the trade shows with Shane and listening to him on what to do, to make little modifications on things and stuff. So he and Shane Van Bonen know each other pretty well. Yeah, even though you missed that, I'm watching the body to see what kind of movement there is, and there isn't any.
Yeah.
He didn't hit it with quite the right flick, but the rest of the body's stable. When I see stuff like that, I know this player is going to do nothing but improve.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't really played any pool for a long time, and I know he came out of retirement to play the league here, and I was just talking to him a little while ago, and he says he really enjoys it. And I can just see him staying with it, and his game will improve. He's going to be one of the top-notch players.
Yeah. Looks like that 5-ball might be in the way when he makes this 3.
Well, he might be able to. I don't know if he can draw around it. He's probably going to have to go forward.
Well, it looks like he used it.
He used it to help him out.
He might be able to still make this 4.
Yeah, he's all right.
He looks good.
gonna have to figure out what to do with that 7 ball because I don't think it goes to either pocket.
I see some smiles in the background, so it looks like the Felt Fish and the Great Balls of Fire match is over. I can't quite tell who won.
I see a few people here that I've given lessons to.
Yeah, like Jeff. Jeff had recently told me that he started. He went to you for a lesson or two.
Yeah. And I think we're scheduled to get together pretty soon.
Yeah.
And, wow.
And then I had you come out to the shop for some 8-ball instructional stuff with actually quite a few people in the room.
Yeah. And I've worked with Daniel and Bonnie. Is that her name? Bonnie, yeah.
The power couple, the power pool couple.
Power, yeah.
They're just youngsters too, boy.
Yeah.
They're just in their mid 20s, I think, or just past it. That's like a baby in the pool world.
You know Steve Chaplin, right?
Sure do.
The virtual pool originator.
Yeah.
Well, he's out of the state now, but he was coming over to my house on a regular basis.
He's
playing
in Georgia now, right?
He went to Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia.
Well, I guess he's like 6'8".
6'7", I think. 6'7".
6'7",
Yeah,
okay. And I thought that was tall until
you met
saw
Jeff.
Jeff. And I actually have a picture of both of them standing next to each other.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Oh, that's right, out in Vegas. Remember? You played against their team. But yeah, Jeff here, he's 6'11". And, I always say it's so stereotypical to ask, like some tall person whether or not they play basketball.
It's always that.
And it's always so just about. Of course, Jeff here did play basketball, and he played on a championship level team in college in Toronto, Canada. And then Steve was a basketball player as well. It's the tall, wiry guys. Those are the ones that were basketball players.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Being a tall pool player, most people I run into think it's some form of advantage. Not myself. I'm 6'4". It's not necessarily. Sure, there's some shots that I can reach that maybe somebody else can't reach. But you understand, when I'm bending over a pool table, I'm bending over quite a bit.
That's why I would think
the shorter
it would be,
player is standing.
That's why I would think it would hurt the taller player, because I'm watching these tall guys and they're really struggling to get down low. What you need to get down low. I mean, you can't shoot the shot standing up, especially when you're that tall.
You need that to be able to see that line from that perspective, And
yeah. Well, there's most shots you want to, if you have the opportunity, you want to see the cue ball, your object ball in the pocket, all the same time. That way you know what you're doing. But if you're standing up, then you've got to rotate your head back and forth.
Yeah.
And
you got this bird's eye view, and it's.
So being tall, tall is good for certain shots. Or let's put it this way: there's a certain length of tall that's ideal, but beyond that, it's too difficult. And less than that, you're kind of hurting yourself. Like for myself, not being tall, there's sometimes when I'm shooting shape on the ball, I got to be able to put that ball where I can position my body and be able to reach that next shot.
Right. So you got to think about it.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm leaving myself longer than I need to.
Right.
Or that I would like to.
Much of the time, I don't think about that too much myself, because just about wherever it goes, reach isn't too much of a concern.
You're actually a good height for the game.
But it's funny, if you go into the pro ranks and look at the tall players, you've got me, you've got Dennis Hatch, you've got Mike Davis is 6'2", and that's it. I think Johnny Archer might be 6'0". But then you're going down into the 5-footers from there on.
Yeah.
Who's one of the best players right now, which would be Dennis. Dennis is a good 5'4", and then Shane's probably about 5'9", 5'10", somewhere in there.
Yeah, well, the a lot of Filipinos, like Perica, they're very short. But,
he's like 5'2", 5'3", but he can reach probably further than I can.
He's like a little Spider-Man when he's on the tail.
Yeah, he is. That's impressive. In fact, Bonnie here is one of my students as well, and that's one of the things I was telling her is she needs to study Jose Perica, study Rafael Martinez, study these players that are at a height disadvantage, because what you want to learn is their patterns. Why are they choosing what they're choosing? Because they need to think about reach.
Yes.
Right? So they should be studying that stuff exclusively, because that's going to mirror their own game they're trying to create.
Yeah, I know.
And I understand some ladies can be a little bit shy about climbing on the pool table or whatever, but if you got to reach a shot, you got to reach a shot. Yeah. So I said, look, if that's an issue, do the best you can to make it not an issue, and climb all of it, whatever you got to do to make the ball.
Yeah. And I would imagine shorter people need to really adapt to using the bridge, and for a certain point, to be able to play offhanded a little bit,
Yeah, that helps quite a bit, being able to play opposite-handed. Oh yeah. Do you think he shoots the 10 in the side pocket, or does he play the 10 in the same
he's got
pocket?
a little angle. The cue ball's going to the right, our right side of the 10.
Looks like he was playing it for the same pocket. And look at that, Tim's playing with a Q-Tech cue. The man builds $10,000 pool cues, and he's playing with a $250 Q-Tech. You ever tried that shaft?
No, I never have. No.
That R360 shaft? All right, Timmy gets one on the board. It's 3-1 runouts. That shaft actually plays impressively well. It's like instinctively I don't want to like it, because it's not full wood. It's like it's fiberglass business and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I bought a few of them because I was selling them, and let me try this thing out and see what happens. And I start to raise an eyebrow. Go, wait a minute, this thing actually
Something to it, yeah?
Yeah, it hits quite well. I mean, impressively well. Where it should be considered kind of up there in the top shafts available. But the thing is that Q-Tech only offers it for their own cues.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
If you want one to adapt to your own cue, too bad.
Well,
They only
that could be a
come for
mistake
Q-Tech.
on their part, because people just like their own butts, from whatever, or people that have them for years, like myself. I'm playing with the Schrager, but obviously I'm not playing with the original shafts that,
Yeah. And who we're seeing here, this is Mr. Bob Walton of the Runouts, a former league operator out in the San Gabriel Valley here. I don't really remember exactly which league it was that he ran. It was back in, I think it was back in the 90s or something like that.
A while back.
They used to play out of places like, I think there was a spot over on Rosemead Boulevard in San Gabriel called Feathers or something like that. Several bars around San Gabriel area. Maybe it was just called San Gabriel Pool League, something like that.
You know what? I recall that league.
So I guess he operated that for a number of years, I think.
If I remember right, I think Tim Padgett might have played in that league.
I wouldn't doubt it, because they seem to be pretty good friends, and every draft that comes up, well, Tim's a captain, and his first choice is Bob as his teammate. And Bob's opponent here is Al Garcia.
Al Garcia is very sneaky good.
He is sneaky, isn't he?
Yes.
He is sneaky. I probably met him I think it must be about 10 years back or just near, and he wasn't too much of a player to pay any mind to. And then a few years go by, and I guess I wasn't paying the attention. Boy, he started sneaking up.
Yeah. Oh, I have one over here.
Yeah, but he started really sneaking up, because you know what? This guy Al will play in like every tournament there is.
He plays the one pocket tournaments. He plays everything.
Yeah.
And
he's willing to
a
drive
adapter.
wherever. Plays in everything. I go to a tournament in San Diego. There he is. Northern California. There he
Yeah.
is.
And talk about a quiet guy.
Yeah, very quiet. And in those years that I wasn't paying much mind, his game really came up a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, he's
This is a player that can run out. Where he,
Yeah.
back when I met him, oh no, I didn't. He makes 3-4 balls. You don't really worry about it. But no.
He does the right things. Knows when to play the safe, when to make the balls.
And if I'm not mistaken, a tournament here just within the last year, I think he went hill with Mika Eminen, and I don't know if it was one of these the Mez Tour events or maybe one of the another one of the independent events. But he had a hill match with Mika.
Well, I'm not surprised because he like I say, he's sneaky good.
Yeah.
If you kind of take your eyes off of him, he's out.
And he's got this really soft stroke, and he loves to spin the snot out of the balls. Looks like Bob came here to play. Bob looks quite a little more steady than he did the last time they had playoffs out here. Got himself some
Yeah, I
distance
think he
there.
should have looked at pull the ball back instead of going forward on that one because it was hard to get the cue ball past the 8 and 9.
It looks like he's following that ball, but I'd like to give that a tickle of low and just hold my cue ball right there because he looks real straight in.
Yeah, but you're talking about you. You have those skills.
You know what? This is hilarious. The last time we were doing commentary over here, I'm trying to predict a lot of what people are doing. They ought to do this, do that, and the other thing. And I swear 70-80% of the time I was dead wrong. To where I just start saying, I really have no clue what they're going to do.
Yeah, because you would have to put yourself into their mindset
Exactly.
or into their skill level.
Right, I had to remind myself of it because I'm talking about what I believe is the right shot, not what's within their skill set.
Yeah, which is when it comes down to that, talking about the other league, that the APA league, where they have timeouts, that the coach has to just let them do what he knows that they can do.
What they're comfortable with, and But even within those parameters, sometimes that coach can offer quite a bit of help with maybe something they didn't see or whatever.
Sure,
but it's within their skill set still. Oh, just by a hair, I'll miss
Didn't
that
cut
one.
it enough.
Yeah. But I did have some folks come and tell me that after we'll put up this video later on Facebook or YouTube, and some of the folks said that they got a chance to watch and listen to commentary and stuff, and they said they learned a hell of a lot because after watching, because of course they saw what they saw at the time, but then they're listening to whatever alternatives, and they go, oh, maybe that was a better way to go.
Well, as you get better at this game, you get to see more of the things that are available to you on any particular shot. Because as you're learning the game, you only see what's obvious, But if you look a little further, you can see more. Mm-hmm. And I always say that when you are at the table and you have a decision, you need to know pretty much everything that you can do with this shot and how you can do it. And then from there, you can make your decision. And to say there's 4 or 5 things you can do with the shot, well, most of the times quickly you can throw away half of those, or maybe 3 of those 5 things, because you can see that, yeah, it's possible, but not
But not worthwhile.
Not worthwhile. So now you're left with a couple of decisions. Well, with those two decisions that are left, you need to be able to distinguish what the difference between those two. And sometimes the difference is very slight.
Yeah.
But it's still, if you're going to play this game for a long time, and you want to stay with the game where you're going to be good for a good while, you need to be able to see that little small difference between the two, because it's all a matter of percentages on the long run. So you always want to stay with that little edge. And by knowing all the things that are available to you, when you take a shot and if it doesn't work out, you don't want to be able to go back to your position sitting down and afterwards have somebody that is a lesser player than you. They're going to say, hey, Joe, why did you do this when you had that shot? Why didn't you do this? And then the worst answer you would have is that I didn't see that. You need to be able to tell him, give him an intelligent answer why you didn't go that way.
Yeah.
That way you know that you saw that option.
Yeah, you saw it, but there were certain benefits to the way that you went. I notice in the decision making, sometimes it comes down to personality too. If you've got two shots that are just, as far as risk, are so similar, you can't make a decision. Well, sometimes that's the difference between a defensive shot and an offensive shot. And what's your own player personality? Do you like to go for it or not?
Yeah.
And if you do, shoot.
And a lot of times those decisions are based on the score, the importance of this particular shot.
Most especially with a game like One Pocket.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you got to be completely mindful of the score at all times.
Yeah. You watch a good one-pocket player, and he's got a shot. He says, well, why is he shooting that shot? Why don't he shoot this other one? In his mind, he's playing one pocket, and you're playing just go for the ball.
Yeah. Well, and the person that's just playing go for the ball, I'm betting on the other one.
Yeah.
It's playing one pocket. Yeah, the score right now is 4 games to 1 runouts. Al's got a tough cut here with the bridge. I think that's a pretty tough cut with the bridge because of how much cue ball movement he's trying to get.
With the bridge is really tough.
One of the runouts teammates is a guy by the name of Raul, or Raul, depending on when you met him. If you met him as a youngster like I did, he's Raul. If you met him later in life, he's Raul. But his family, they're the ones that own the host pool room that we play out of on Monday nights, the cue ball. So Raul's aunt and uncle are Sergio and Selena.
So Sergio still owns the place over there?
Sure does.
Yeah.
Sure does. And they own that building.
Well,
Otherwise, the economy might have, gotten rid of him way back when.
I think I should stop and say hi to him one day when I'm in that area.
Selena is there pretty regularly. She just had a couple of knees replaced, and so she was out of there for a few months recovering, but she's back in there. She was working, I think, just this past Monday night. Sergio comes around not too frequently, but when he's around, it's in the daytime. But I think he takes up residence part-time Mexico, part-time here. But he's here quite a bit more often than he used to be. So Al puts a point up on the board.
Yeah, well, you know what? These last 3 balls that he shot from the 7 to the 8, he got absolutely perfect on the 8 ball from the 7, and then he shot the 8 ball nice to get on the 9 ball, which shows his skills. He really knows what he's doing, and he controls the cue ball real nice.
I think he might need to find his groove just a little bit, because I think he had some schedule changes in his life that early in the season he played every single week up until about the half or 2/3 of the season mark, and then he wasn't around much on the Monday nights. So his schedule's changed quite a little bit. So he might not have played too much in the last, let's say, 6 weeks or something like that. So he might be a little bit rusty. But these players, each one of them that's here playing in playoffs, they must play a minimum number of nights during the season in order to be eligible to play in playoffs.
Okay.
So if they haven't represented their team at a minimum of 4 times during the season, they can't even play today. So that's part of the captain's duty, is to make
sure they get their games in. Yeah.
Make sure you're rotating them. And besides that, you need to get 8 matches in during an individual season if you're a player that wants to play at the national level. So you got to rotate your players to meet their needs, And in this division, what's funny is, some folks in pool leagues that I see, they don't want to play every week. They want to be a part-time, or they want to play just a few here and there. These guys want to play every single week. It's actually harder getting them to sit down than it is to get them to show up. So even this team, the road players, they have one player on their roster that is ineligible to play today. He only had 3 matches in during the season, and that was later in the season. I think he had some scheduling issues that kept him out of town. So we try to put in a few rules here and there to keep people from stacking things up and
Well, it's hard to run a league when you have when you allow teams to, or don't have provisions to keep a team from getting stacked up, because what happens is that everybody wants to compete, everybody wants to have a chance to win, but if some teams get too far behind, then they're going to lose interest because they're thinking, well, what's the point? We can't catch up. So if you make it where the teams are not stacked, then it's more competitive. People, the players will play longer, and they'll stick together with the teams.
Yeah, and this particular division with the draft is one way that we keep them from getting stacked up, and of course that changes every season. But then even if a team is doing poorly, let's say, and getting towards the end of the season, well, they have no incentive to continue on because it's the top 3 teams that are going to playoffs. Well, that's where we instituted a wild card. And the wild card, in order for your team to be eligible for the wild card choice, you must play a full roster of players in the final 4 weeks. So if people, don't want to show up, they're not doing too well, then you're essentially making it so your team is ineligible for a wild card position. And I don't know too many captains that are going to put up with that.
No, it sounds like you guys have it covered pretty well.
Our issue thus far in recruitment is... one is space. We take up quite a few tables at a pool room. Whenever we set up a division, we take half a dozen tables. So unlike in many other leagues where they take 1 table, and people travel, no, we take 6. And so we have quite a demand on the room owner. But we deliver with a lot of players, and we encourage them to be as generous as possible with the pool rooms, understanding that if we're not, we don't have a place to be.
Yeah, well, the rooms give up their table for a little time for league play. Well, these same players, though, because they want to be competitive in the league, will get out and practice. And what they're going to practice at the places
at the home
that they're...
room.
Yeah,
exactly.
Sure.
That's exactly right. So every single one of these players that wasn't actually, I can't name one in our league that was a regular at that pool room, and now they've all become regulars at that pool room because that's where they play league.
Yeah.
But another thing is just that players that haven't taken the plunge to give it a shot tend to be a little bit scared whether or not they can cut the mustard against the stronger players in the area, And personally, I don't think that's all that important, whether or not you can. you kind of got to dip your toe in the water, just and,
Yeah.
and
But then again, you guys have more than one division, right?
we do. So our big track division, we're treating a bit of a farm division for this one.
Yeah.
So if people want to play in this particular division, we recommend that they have a rating in our system of a 0 or better, meaning they win half the time or more. So it's a bit of a bar of entry. So we've got some players in our handicap division that are aspiring to play in this division. So they're trying to work their game up to a level where they can come on and get in. Yeah.
And that's what everybody wants to do when you play this game. You want to get better. You want to be more competitive. You want to show your skills.
So there we go, up there in the stands with the white hat and the red shirt. That's Raw. You probably recognize him, don't you, with the Titleist hat?
Who is that?
Raw. That's Sergio's nephew.
Yeah, but I haven't seen him in a long time.
20 years, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, that is him.
So,
Well, you and I used to play there quite a bit.
30 years ago. 30, yeah. Yeah, because I started playing. I was 14 at that pool room, and I'll be 44 in about 5 months here. And I find it kind of funny that this many years later, the host room that we're operating league out of is the same room that I grew up in.
That's something.
Yeah. It looks like in the big track division that the Feldfish had beaten the Great Balls of Fire. So Feldfish has advanced to the championship match with Savon. And Savon had defeated It's All About Nationals. So now It's All About Nationals is playing Great Balls of Fire. And the winner of that match gets third place and third place prize money. So far in that big track division, the favorites have advanced, but here in the heads-up division, the first match we saw the favorites lose in the tiebreaker.
Well, the favorites were well ahead in the match.
They were
8-4, if I remember right.
Yeah, the favorites were looking like favorites initially, yeah. But you got to close. Well, I don't really see here. If he makes that 2-ball, how he's going to get all the way up there for the 3.
Actually, he can get there 2 rails by spinning it.
Go just above the 8-ball?
Yeah.
On second rail?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a pretty good stroke. He might have it. He might have that stroke. Yeah, he's got that stroke.
Yeah, he had a stroke, all right.
Yeah. So this one looks pretty runnable. That 6-ball sitting near that.
Yeah,
that
if he can get on that 4-ball, where he can go forward with it to catch the short rail and then get that nice angle on the 6 one, like almost straight in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
He's got a little too straight on this ball, so now he's going to have to pull it back. Unless he can cheat the pocket to still go forward.
It looks like he might be able to actually just stop his cue ball while he's going forward.
Yeah, if he can go forward a little bit of left spin, that'd be better. That's about right. Yeah,
he had plenty.
Yeah, he's, just the last 2 shots that he's hit tells me that he's been behind that cue stick for quite a while.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on.
I'd say he's the favorite to run out from here. Well, it got a little funny.
And little
on the
angles are a
eight.
little funny, but
Handled it just
yeah,
fine.
he's all right.
Yeah. So he's got a vast skill set. All right, and the runouts put one more on the board. Score is 5-2. Runouts
So
in the
he's
lead.
on Padgett on the team right
On
now.
Padgett, yeah, on Tim's team.
Well, they're looking to be the favorite in this tournament right now.
Well, their team is loaded from guys up in their town. Tim lives over in Doherty, and which is a neighboring town to Monrovia.
Monrovia.
And there's a little bar or a little room in the area that they all kind of congregate at. So when Team made his decisions in the draft, he picked all his local guys, which most of the other folks in the draft didn't know them too well, like Raphael here. I'm telling you, he's a newcomer to the whole thing. So they picked a couple of guys that they knew. He scratches on the break there.
Now, how's that 10 ball look off the 7 ball?
Well, they're not froze, so nothing's wired.
If they're not froze, then it's a matter of speed whether you want to make it off the 7.
It looks like it would go a little bit low, just from the camera.
Then you hit it a little harder then.
I think he's got quite a bit of work to do before he can consider
To get over there.
Yeah, he's got to get to the 4 for that to even be remotely possible. It looked like he banked that one off. Yeah, he's got a big stroke there.
Yeah.
That's a big stroke shot.
That Arcadia area used to be pretty good action years ago because a lot of the jockeys used to go there.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, Arcadia is where the Santa Anita racetrack is.
Smart shot.
That's a beautiful racetrack, too.
Oh, yeah.
Nice hit. Yeah, he's going to be getting a little bit of a spread. Got a little bit of a distance away from the 2. See any easy way for him to really do anything to make this ball and get on the 3.
Well, if he plays it to his corner right and just run the cue ball, it's a matter of just making the ball because the cue ball is coming around 3 rails for the 3.
That's his style too, a shot like that. He likes to hit stuff like that and load him up with a bunch of inside stuff.
Because I don't think you need to put anything. It's just going to run by itself. But he's going the other way, the other pocket.
No, he went your way.
Oh, had he just rolled it, I think it would have.
Well, he decided to play safe, I think. Well, he got safe.
When you shoot a shot like that, since you're hitting the first rail on a slant, that first rail is going to put the English that you need on a cue ball by itself, and then the second rail will enhance that spin. So most of the times on that shot, you don't need to put spin. It'll pick it up by itself off the rail.
It's a nice hit he just made. Of course, that won't count unless he called it.
Oh, that's
which
right.
He did not, yeah.
I would think he would call it if it's going to go that way.
Yeah. So he might not be too familiar with 10 ball, just to instinctively just call it.
Yeah.
Because I find plenty of shots like that where you just, something may not necessarily be coming anywhere near the pocket, but you just kind of call it anyway instinctively because, if something happens, you want to keep shooting.
And sometimes those shots are well concealed, but they're there because after you hit them, you say, wow, I should have called that.
Yeah. I think it just takes a bit of experience to put that in your knowledge base,
Yeah. You see that a lot in one pocket. You're banking a ball into the stack, and you look at the stack. Well, there's nothing going to my pocket, but I'm just going to get balls over to my side.
Yeah.
And then you hit it, and the ball flies right in your hole.
And you
say,
go,
wow,
wait a minute, yeah.
Why didn't I see that?
Yeah, let me make sure to note that for next time. Which is, of course, it's 1 in a million that layout's going to come right up again. But.
Yeah, but you should. That's why the better players in games like one pocket. I mean, they just study the stack real well, and they know the flight of every ball.
Yeah. Well, I remember reading like Willie Mosconi's book, that Little Red Book.
That Little Red Book, yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in that, but boy, when he's talking about like reading the rack and stuff, I mean, it's like knowing where every single ball is going, and it's doable. Man, you got to play a lot of straight pull to really, get there.
Either that or you start imagining, wow, how good do these guys play?
Yeah. And that's something that we want to introduce to these players and in this league as soon as possible. I noticed that many that play in pool leagues, they see their best local player and go, oh, this guy, he's a professional, he's a whatever he is. Well, they don't know. The people saying that don't know how well people really can play this game. When you've seen people play this game at the highest levels, it's just, I mean, it's an art form for one, but you just can't believe to what standard somebody can play it at until you've seen it.
Yeah, right, yeah. And you watch the real top-notch players when they're doing a difficult shot and they're stuck on the rail with the cue ball, and you're thinking, wow.
That's a tough spot.
And then they do it with so much
fire the damn
control, and you say, wow, how good are they?
Exactly. They're that good, And so a lot of these players don't get exposed to players of that level. I mean, I don't just mean in person, but even watching on television or whatever, there's limited exposure to it. So if they don't follow or whatever, they just have no idea.
Right.
They have no clue.
Well, he's going to try to kick the 7 to the corner, past the 8.
I think it'll rub off the 8 is what he was thinking, that he could use the 8 to get it in there.
Yeah. He also had the option of kicking the ball in, but I don't know if there was any percentage in kicking it in if he couldn't make the 8 ball after that.
It was going to be tricky. Like, he'd have to spin that 8 ball in. Yeah, he got lucky that he hit that ball the way he did. Or else he might have been on the wrong side of the 8.
Yeah. Well, looking at it on the monitor, the 8 looks like it's pocketable.
Yeah, he's okay from here, but
for most any place, actually, it's far enough off the rail. But it's a little tricky getting on the 9 from this shot here, since he's cutting the 8 ball and the cue ball's going the wrong way.
Just playing in the side.
Played it nice.
Yeah, it looks like he got on the right side of it.
He's got a chance to put his team back in the match.
Joey Mejia puts one on the board for the road players. The score is
5-3 now.
5-3.
Wow, that was a big game instead of being 6-2.
Looks like Al Garcia's
coming back.
He's sneaking back in.
Yeah, give yourself a game. Join them on.
I always see Al is very quiet, not talkative, but a real pleasant guy. But maybe it's a language barrier deal. I don't know how well he speaks English or.
Maybe he's hustling you.
All these years.
It's the deep hustle.
It's time to put the hammer down.
He's got to get you primed. He doesn't move real quickly, so it might take him
Well, we better
a number
go
of
while
years.
I'm still around.
Yeah, I mean, actually, he speaks the language pretty well, but he's just a real, quiet, soft-spoken guy.
Is he maybe Filipino?
He's Filipino, yeah.
Okay.
Now, this looks like a real runnable rack.
Oh, yeah.
That one looks juicy.
You just got to make sure he gets past the 3 ball.
Awesome.
He's coming out.
This ball position for a right-handed player might have been a problem, but Tim's a lefty,
Yeah,
so this
he
is
can spin it in.
just right.
Once he got past the 3 ball, I think he was okay.
Ooh, might have slowed down a little too much on him. I think he hooked himself. It's just he didn't read the speed just right. That's all I think. Looks like he's playing that safety that we had talked about a little while back.
Yeah, well, at the speed he hit it, I think he was trying to make it. But he was fortunate enough to get it into a safe spot.
And to remind you folks, this is Corey Harper talking to you with Frank the Barber Almanza. We're at Golden Cube Billiards in South El Monte, California. Championship Saturday for the Foothill BCA Pool League. You can find more information on us at foothillbca.com. I'm not sure what Al was trying to do there. Maybe stick him behind the 9?
Yeah, I don't think he had a lot of options, but I think he hit it pretty good. One thing about Tim, he's always ready to shoot. He's looking for a pocket.
Yeah, he's definitely an aggressive player. Well, he's primarily a 9-ball player, isn't he?
Right, yeah. Smart.
It's a good shot. That's a nice shot.
Well, you know, I've known him for years. As a matter of fact, I took him under my wings when he was maybe 17, 18 years old. And he got to the point where he really was a top-notch player. I mean, he was good enough to, at any particular time, beat anybody. That's how well his game was.
And if I'm not mistaken, he and Keith are about a similar age. And I'm sure they probably had a run in here or there.
Yeah, they did, sure, yeah.
And you know what's funny is I didn't really start getting to know Tim until I was probably in my later teens. Not so well. This is what's funny about it is I started playing in that pool room where I met Tim probably when I was 14 or whatever it was. But I didn't realize that Tim and I lived 2 houses away from each other.
Is that right, in Alhambra?
Yeah, for a number of years.
Yeah.
But I didn't meet him until we met in the pool room. Well, I had lived on that street since I was 8 years old. What a jump shot that was. Nice shot, Timmy. But I had lived on that street since I was 8 years old, and it was 6, 7 years later that I met him at the pool room. You know, his mom worked at my elementary school.
And his dad was the mailman in that area there.
I don't remember if I had met him before, or met him. I think he might have passed away. But it's so funny that, we lived a couple houses away from each other for years and didn't meet until we met at the pool room, which was, only another block away, but... And I played with a cue that he built me I must have played with that for about 5 years or something like that. Well, we had a bit of a projectile.
Well, I think Al's the favorite to win this game. Although, getting on the floor.
He might have a hard time, getting around that
9 ball's right in the path.
Ooh. And he's gonna, oh, God. How small was that window?
Yeah,
that he
it
just
was
went
nice.
I like the way you hit that just then. With that little bit of inside to go to 2 rails. I see most players hit that as a 1 rail shot. I like the 2 rail.
Yeah, 2 rail guarantees that you get off the second rail, which is what you need if you want to get on that 9 ball.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way he hit that one.
I don't like that at all. They should have went, in my opinion, you should have went 2 rails on that with some low left and come right into the 9 instead of going on this line.
Instead of crossing the angle, you're coming toward it.
Yeah.
Although I think he can still handle this one.
He hit that ball so pretty and skinny.
No, Al
Nice
plays
shot,
good.
Al. Oh, now Al's win there brings them up to 4 games.
5-4.
Scores 5-4. They're in it. They're in this fight.
We might see another spot shot contest.
It's possible. I couldn't believe it last season that we had 2. And then during the season, this past season, because what we did, we liked the spot shot thing so much that we incorporated it within the season. We were using it just as a playoffs tiebreaker, but yeah, we liked it so much we used it during the season. So there are no ties even during the season, and it's come up a good half a dozen times. It's even come up where a team might, for some reason or another, be 1 player short, have only 2 for the night. Well, we don't allow them any sort of they're going to have to forfeit basically 6 games if they have a player short. Well, even still, with the forfeit of 6 games, they were able to win enough games to tie it for the night and ultimately win the night on spot shots. But also forfeiting 2 spot shots because they don't have that player there. That's a good shot. Nice move in the 2 ball also.
Nice angle, too.
Yeah. Al's getting a little warmed up. You notice he shoots holding the chalk in his hand? Oh, okay. He didn't do it just then.
I was going to say, I'd hate to see his hand after a match.
I thought I had seen him holding it in his stroking hand. I remember playing a few players here and there that used to do stuff like that. Chalk it up and leave it in their stroking hand when they shot.
Yeah. And then their hands all blue afterward.
Yeah. not sure if he's got angle where he's got to follow to the rail and come back out for the 6.
I think he's going forward.
Looks like he can just play a stop shot and play a 7 inside.
Well, if he can draw it about 3 inches, that'd be perfect. Now
he might have too much angle, but he can still float it in, I think.
Yeah, as long as he makes it, he's all right.
It looks like he's getting a little bit of a rhythm going here, because I'm watching his eyes and his arm. They're timed pretty good right now. That's actually a smart way to hit that he just did.
Yeah.
I might have tried to pull my ball back. Well, there's one of the advantages I might have had with the height, is I could probably pull the ball back another couple inches without risking missing it. But, you know, for him, that was real smart to just play a stop shot right there and take the distance.
I think he could have went forward, too. Which would probably get him closer to that 9 ball.
Would give him more distance, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're all tied up now. 5-5. Looks like Bonnie Luong is back in the box, and it's looking like her opponent is Bob Walton.
They've got the one pocket going on over across town over at the Hard Times today.
Yeah. I've only made it out there for that tournament once. It's just a race to 2, isn't it?
Race to 2 on the winners, and then race to 1 on the loser side.
Yeah. And then it's a spot 5 balls past the head string. You got to start spot numbers.
The 5th ball, the one closest to the line, gets spotted. Yeah. And I'm last month's defending champion.
Oh, well, thank you for skipping out on that prize money to join us today.
That's okay. I need a rest from it.
Well, you don't want to bust the tournament, right?
Yeah,
you want it to keep happening.
I don't want to chase everybody away. Santos was already complaining.
Boy, those tournaments over there at Hard Times, over time, the Sunday tournaments or the weekend tournaments, the regular ones. I remember when playing on the regular Sunday tournament, it was a race to 7, and the finals was either a race to 9 or 11, and then they started instituting a handicap where certain players had to give 1 game on the wire to other players, and then they drop it to race to 7 and race to 5 on the loser side, and they keep making it, I don't know, faster and faster, smaller and smaller, and
well, that's the idea for the guy that's running the tournament. You know, he just wants to get his whatever he gets commission on the tournament and get it over with.
Yeah, I guess in the old days we probably didn't have as many players in the tournament because it didn't seem to run any longer, but also the quality of play was pretty high. You know, back in the older days over there. I remember when Rafael Martinez was considered the house pro over there, and he won like every tournament in that room, you know, whether it be a Wednesday or a Sunday tournament or whatever it was, for like a year. He won every single one, you know. But it was players of you know, his caliber and around there that were there all the time. I mean, a different time, I guess, you know. But,
yeah.
But they were longer sets too. Maybe a player even of his caliber probably couldn't go in and do that now, because now you're giving up a game on the wire and you're playing a race to 5 and all that other nonsense.
Short sets. Well, Bonnie's up at the table with an open table. She's got a hanging 2-ball, a 3-ball goes, and everything is on one end of the table, which is going to make it, you know, a lot easier to run out, where you don't have to run the cue ball back and forth.
Right. She just needs to maintain control of the cue ball.
But, you know,
there's still stuff you can hook
for some
yourself
players,
behind.
they'd rather have the ball spread out more because they have a bigger stroke and they're more comfortable putting more speed on the balls.
Well, that's usually the way 9-ball goes. The balls are spread out. You got a lot of space to move around in. This is looks like a run out for an 8-ball player.
You're right, yeah.
She might be able to use that 6-ball to bump into it and hold it for the 4.
Yeah, this is going to be tricky because if she doesn't hit the 6, she's got a good chance to get past the 5-ball.
You know what she could do is maybe use the 9-ball, play a carom off the 9-ball.
Yeah, that'd be something to think about.
And that'll hold the cue ball forward.
Not only that, it would probably open up for the.
Oh, just missed the 6.
Yeah, that's what we thought might happen. Yeah, if she'd have played like you said, not only would it have been able to control the cue ball, but that would open up that pocket for the 6-ball.
Absolutely. It looks like she's going to need to play some defense
Well, you know,
for me.
from what I see here, when the first shot she had on the ball that was hanging to get to the 3, I think she hit the wrong side of the ball. She went to the short rail after making the ball. Instead of hitting the 2-ball on the left side and going to a long rail, then she would have got closer to the 3 with a better angle.
Is that what she did?
Yeah, she hit the right side of the ball, and then that's how she wound up on the long rail.
It looks like she might be trying to put the cue ball behind the 9
I
here.
think she's trying to make it.
Is she? No,
Oh, no.
she's banked it up table. That's not a bad
That's
shot.
all
That's a
right.
good shot. That's a real good shot. Now, I don't think that Bob owns a jump cue either. You ever do that in a tournament where, say you're at the table and you're thinking about a safety to play here, and just look over at your opponent's equipment, and if they don't have a jump cue sitting there, you go ahead and line them up for the jump. Not yet.
But you know what? They always surprise me. They always bring it out of their bag.
They pull it out of the case and you go, I didn't think you had one.
They tricked you.
See, there's some more gamesmanship, you know? Maybe your opponent's keeping it hidden just so
Yeah.
you'll do that.
You got to put all your weapons out on the table before we start.
That should be the rule, right? That should be the rule. No surprises. Of course, at the high level, you expect everybody to have everything you can think
Yeah,
of.
they always have them. Yeah.
Probably got 2 or 3 of each, or
Any tournament I play these days, when they beat me like on a bar table, 8-ball, and I hook them good on the ball, and I mean they're pretty tight, like within an inch or 2.
Yeah.
And then they bring that little stick out that does the dart jump. I lost. As soon as they bring it out, I know I lost. She wants to play this on the side, but the cue ball's going up towards the scratch, so she has to watch that. Because she needs to put speed to get up, go up and down.
I think she might be able to get to the. Oh, she bumped that ball. Yeah. She called foul on herself because she bumped the cue ball. I thought she had some space to be able to get to the head rail, but the cue ball would have been coming straight back down behind the 7. Like she wouldn't have been able to get shape on 5 from what I could see. But she ended up getting a little too close to the ball, and she just tickled it, called foul on herself.
It's good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that twice already, maybe 3 times in this tournament, where the shooter has called a foul on themselves.
I've watched some other league play where, boy, the argument that would ensue after something like that, just then you hit the ball, oh, I didn't know it. Oh, jeez.
And the tie goes to the shooter.
I mean, this as a sport is quite interesting, that most of the time we've got to call fouls on ourselves, or, you know, your opponent is the referee, essentially, because we don't have referees
Right,
usually,
yeah, sure.
you know? I mean, even in this match here, they're essentially being self-refereed. Even, I mean, we're watching, but we're not part
Yeah,
of the
no,
match
we
like that.
we can't jump up and call a foul when we see something, because it's not our responsibility or duty to do so.
Now we've got some staff members here that if somebody predicts that they may need a referee for whatever reason or another, they can call somebody over
Sure,
and,
yeah.
and keep an eye on it. But if that hasn't been called, it's between the players. And you know what? I sometimes see people call a referee over, and then they might stand over the referee as if to debate. You know, as long as they make the right call, they're not going to say anything. But if they make the wrong call, they're there to debate it. You know, if I call a referee over to watch a hit, I don't even watch it. I don't even want to see it. I've already surrendered.
Your opinion's got nothing to do with it
Exactly.
at this point.
I've already surrendered that the referee, or me and my opponent have surrendered that the referee's going to make the decision. So what do I need to watch it for?
Yeah. Although I can tell
Just
you,
upset myself if they get it wrong?
I had a situation one time when it was a close match, and I called the referee over to watch my opponent's shot, because this was one of those shots that you can hit the ball first or hit the rail first, and if you hit the rail first, it's going to be a foul because you don't catch the rail. And the referee, when the guy hit it, it was clearly a good hit, but the referee called a bad hit, called a foul. So I just waited for the referee to leave, and I told the guy, you know, because the referee picked the ball up and handed it to me. He said, ball in hand. So when he walked away, I mean, to me it was just obvious, and the referee just missed the call.
Yeah, so you didn't want to take it?
No, I didn't want to take it, so I said, I put it back, and I said, you know, what's good? He said, we put it back, and we continue the game from there.
Yeah. I mean, which is completely your right to do. You can, even if it's been given to you as ball in hand, if you want to surrender it, go right ahead. Wow, that was a nice little shot there.
That was a great shot.
That was a beautiful shot.
I was wondering how he was
two
going to do
rails
that. Yeah.
underneath it. And you know, Bob here, Tim's teammate, he is playing with a Padgett cue.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So Tim himself is not, but Bob is. So Bob gets one up there for the runouts. They take the lead again, 6-5. But so that's the cue on the table. That's an example of Tim's work, and that's some really nice curly maple up there in the forearm. He's got some window inlays in the butt sleeve there. Looks like a 4-pointer. Lots of veneers. Some diamond inlays.
What kind of wood is that on the butt?
The forearm just below the joint. That is, they call it 3 different things. It's curly maple, or it's tiger maple, or it's fiddleback maple. All the same. It's a maple, just that has this kind of striped design that comes down.
Yeah, is that a hardwood maple? Yeah.
It is. And then a tiger maple or curly maple, or however you want to call it, is considered an exotic hardwood. So, which exotic means they cost more. But they are real pretty. Like, you ever see these guitars that use that same type of wood? They cut it real slim into a veneer and just veneer it on. But the shimmer of the light, where you get these stripes and stuff on it, it's just gorgeous.
So yeah, so it changes as you move the light, move it around, and the light hits it differently.
A little bit, yeah. There's a little shimmer change, but you can see on his cue, he's got some like stripes.
Well, Corey, we've got a 10-ball sitting in front of the pocket.
I don't know that she can shoot at it though, because you can't really play the combination because it's a dead scratch in the side. Now, if she played the carom, we don't quite know if the cue ball will pass. Actually, I don't think it will. I think it'll go right into the 5.
Well, how about pushing the 1 ball towards there and then hooking with the 5, and that way, if you get a ball in hand, you got a chance.
That's a good move.
I guess you figured best to get it away from the 10.
Yeah.
He wants to run the cue ball up table and hook in, put the ball, take it to the rail, and then come back and hit the 4 softly.
So okay, the way that you described playing it, he would have definitely had a hook. he hit that ball too thin,
Yeah.
so it missed a 4 altogether. He didn't play it to go into the 4.
Yeah.
But if he did, he'd have her dead snookers. I think right now she looks like she can hit the edge of the ball.
Well, she can hit enough.
she can
she
hit the
can
whole
hit
ball.
enough to hit and make the 10. Yeah.
She can make
Oh,
she
yeah.
can make the 1 too.
No, I'd go for the 10 instead.
Yeah. But of course she needs to call her ball in pocket, and you can only call 1.
Yeah.
So, even though it looks like a two-way shot, you could play the 1 in the corner, the 10 in the corner. You got to pick one.
Well, I play the 10 because if you make the 1 and hit the 10 and don't make the 10, you got nothing on the 2. That was the right shot. She hit it good.
Smart player. No, I like the bank. I know a lot of people might like to go ahead and play safe here. I like the bank
The
because you
back
can
is
just
good because you got the shape.
you just rip it in and hold your cue ball right there, and then the rest of the balls are pretty runnable. Well, I think he didn't need to do all that traveling with the cue ball,
stopped the cue ball. He held it there,
but it worked out.
it actually wound up better this way. He's a little closer to it and got a little angle where he can do what he wants to with it.
Yeah. He might have been guilty of, you make the big shot, and then who knows, maybe the mind is still celebrating the big shot, and you're down to the rudimentary shot, and you're not paying enough attention to it.
That's why sometimes you got to stop and then walk around the table and chalk up, and
Yeah.
because you're still a little hyper from the shot that you just made.
Right. I mean, mentally, there's you got to stay in the present moment, the shot in front of you. A lot of people, if they play and execute a shot poorly, well, that simmers with them and affects the next shot. Well, it goes the other way too. If you make a great shot and you're still, in your own mind celebrating the damn thing, you're not paying attention to what's in front of you.
Yeah, you're still listening to the crowd, the applause that they got going, the cheers.
Right, you're busy, polishing your ego, and you go ahead and execute this one in front of you that you didn't give proper attention to.
Sounds like you've been guilty of that too.
Oh, probably, hopefully more than anybody ever, because
we all have to go.
I'm certainly not one to shy away from any mistakes. I hope to make more mistakes than anybody on earth, because that's what you learn from.
That's how you learn. Well, nothing easy here. You got the combination, but.
I think that was a quote from, or there's a quote talked about from Michael Jordan, that nobody's missed more shots than he has. But that's why he makes so damn many of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a tough shot being jacked up over a ball. What a difference, 9-ball, 10-ball, where you're worried about you can't just slop a ball in and hit hard and hope. Everything's got to be planned.
You don't get to get comfortable. So let's say if you play 9-ball, right, you don't really have to think about it too much or declare anything. But then the next rack, you have to declare everything.
Yeah.
So you don't really get to settle in, because it's going to change the next game. Yeah. Your opponent's going to change 2 games after that or whatever, We're trying to keep the heat on them.
Like here, she's probably gonna have to kick at it 1 rail. Oh, she's kicking at it 2 rails. I thought she would go to the short rail, spin to it.
I think she does have the short rail.
Yeah,
and
spin.
Could pocket it. I don't know exactly why she chose that, because I think that she did have the 1 rail and could have played the 3 in the corner pocket right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why she didn't do that. Because the 2 rail looked like it couldn't bear any fruit. Even if you hit the ball, you're going to sell out, or you're going to maybe bump the 3 towards the 10 and leave a combination. Or the 1 railer, she could have made the ball and ran out.
Right. I wonder if he's thinking about moving the 5-ball right now.
Yep, you got it. But
That
he
was
hooked
the
himself.
problem, though. Yeah, and when we shoot a shot like that, we know that that's the possibility
Right.
that's going to happen. We
So
break out a
either-
ball, we get locked up.
Exactly, or either I play not just to go in randomly to a group of balls. I play into a specific part of a ball
Right.
that even if I don't hit it, I'm not hooked.
Yeah. Well, you know, years back when we played shootout, 9-ball,
I never played it.
you'd see more runouts because the way these balls were sitting, instead of trying to break it out, players will play the shape on the 4 to get on the 5 so they can play safe on the 5. Instead of trying to break it out, like if you play with one 5-ball in hand, you try to break that 5 out like he did there, and you get hooked. Well, that almost means you lost the game. But before you try for that breakdown, if you don't try for a breakdown, well, you can always push that on the 4.
Right, and actually, those rules, we'd like to in the future find a way to develop a division, or it may just simply be a tournament or what have you. But on that rule set, I want to bring that rule set back. The 2-foul ball
Yeah.
in the hand, and I've never played that way, but I can. Just imagine some of the situations that are going to come up with it, and I couldn't even find anybody. I mean, I didn't ask you about it, I know, but I couldn't find anybody that even knew, like, let's say the complete rule set. I had to go talk to Little Al. And of course, Little Al remembers, but I asked Ernesto Dominguez, etc. He doesn't remember. He doesn't know, but Little Al certainly remembered.
Yeah, well, that's from Al in my day, shootouts.
Because my misunderstanding about that rule set is I thought that the 2-foul, or that you could push out at any time, that it was a bit of a challenge. Let's say if I didn't have a shot that I liked and I rolled out, now you had the option to take it or give it back to me. Okay, so if you took it or gave it back, didn't matter, but the incoming shooter to that shot, I thought, must make the shot, must pocket the ball.
No, they must satisfy the rule of a rail.
Yeah. So okay, that was my misunderstanding for the longest time, and Al straightened me out on it. But you know what? I like that rule set quite a bit better, I think. And now in practice, if we put some time invest some time and effort into it and put it together, it may not prove to be so great, but
you can see.
I think that's a better direction to go than making the thing faster and all that other nonsense.
Oh, well, it's basically why 1-foul ball in hand came into being, is because of the tournaments and the time constriction.
Yeah.
So they want to be able to schedule tournaments and have the matches go X amount of time. But with a 2-shot shootout, a match that normally would, in 1-foul ball in hand, maybe could take an hour. Well, it could take 2 hours playing the other way.
So yeah, you might roll out all day long, But
Yeah, but when the game was not tournament play, it was 2 fouls, 2-shot, or rather push-out, shootout, that you're going to see more runouts because people get more aggressive on breakouts because they're not afraid of breaking out.
They're not
and getting
afraid of
hooked.
fouling. Yeah. I like it. So, one of the things that I can see maybe being a benefit that, like, at the professional level, in this country anyway, it's been in a pretty steady decline as far as the number of tournaments available to play in and the prize money relative to the cost of living and all that kind of stuff. But one benefit that might come out of it, with there being so few tournaments and stuff, is that we might get the freedom to make them tougher again.
Yeah.
Instead of going that direction, there's all these tournaments, we got to get it done. Well, now who do we got to get done for? There's no TV, no audience. Okay, so if the thing, let's bring back a little more derby-like type of things. If it takes. Or even further back, where Willie Mosconi's World Championships and Irving Crane and all those guys, those were decided over a number of weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Not in 2-3 days or 4 days or whatever we do now. No, a number of weeks, and they played round robin. Everybody plays everybody to 200 points or whatever, or sometimes longer, to 1,000 points.
1,500, yeah.
Right. So that by the end of that event, you knew who the best in the world was. There's no doubt. No, that weeded out all the rolls. I like that a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
Looks like Bonnie's got a chance to win this game here. I think she needs to go forward, though.
Yeah, because she's gonna have a real tough time getting down to that
Yeah,
time
this is
ball.
going to be tough for anybody.
I think she's supposed to go ahead and play safe. That she's supposed to go ahead and cut that ball so it'll bank up towards the head rail and then put the cue ball down by the 10.
By the 10 ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had she gone forward and hit the rail and come out, she'd have had the 9 ball to the corner pocket and pretty straight, and more flexibility to get to the 10. Well, interesting to see what she's going to do here. I don't think it'd do any good to pocket the ball and not get shape on the 10.
Right. Well, unless.
Well,
I
you
mean,
could
if,
go around 3 rails, but it's, that's a high-level shot.
let's say if she made the ball, went 3 rails, and just ended up with cue ball where it is right now, well, that 10 looks frozen, so that's makeable.
Yeah, you're right.
But I mean, you're still taking a great deal of distance. Oh, look at that shot there. You know what? There was no benefit to going this far. She could have stopped the cue ball on the 3rd rail.
Just get to the 3rd rail and stay there.
Exactly.
But
Yep, because
I think
he
we
just called it
count that to
frozen.
experience then.
Yeah. But one nice thing to her advantage on a shot like that, or even a shot like this, that distance. I mean, the distance shot is being, a youngster. She's got sharp eyes. Can see the edge of the ball.
I know what she did.
I'm starting to notice that I'm having a tough time seeing the edge of the ball.
Does she have a shot for the side pocket here?
It's tough, boy. Because you got to play that a feather type of speed,
It is a very delicate shot.
yeah, you got to play that a feather speed. I don't know if that ball goes. If he barely rubs that point going in, that ball's not gonna fall. Oh, he got it in there.
Yeah.
Nice shot. And the runouts extend their lead. Looks like
Corey, going back to
7-5.
the push out.
Yeah.
Did you know that there were 2 ways of playing? One was any 2 fouls. Like if you pushed out.
Any 2 fouls in the game?
Any 2 fouls on the shot. Say you pushed out. Now I have the option of shooting.
So
it.
I'm on 1 because I pushed
you're
out.
on 1.
I'm on 1, right?
Or I can shoot it, but whoever shoots it has to satisfy the good hit rule.
Sure.
Now that's any 2 fouls. Now if you play 2 fouls by the same man, that's a little different. Now if you push out, I look at it, I have the option now of giving it back to you, taking the shot myself, or re-pushing. If I push out now,
Oh, you could push again?
Yeah,
You
now-
could push off of my push?
yeah, now you're on 1 foul and I'm on 1 foul. Whoever shoots next must satisfy the rule.
Oh, this actually may be what I was thinking about the challenge part of it. So let's say if I push out and then you push out back, but you leave me in a hooked position, I got to hit that ball and get a rail, or else I'm on 2 and I give it ball in hand. Is that right?
Well, you have the option. You have the option
To give it back.
to give it back to me.
Okay.
So it wouldn't benefit for me to just push and hook you, because you can give it back to me. Now I must satisfy it.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't seen this format written anywhere. Have you ever seen it written anywhere?
Never have. Nothing. So
I think we need to put pen to paper, just so this isn't lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But in the 2 fouls by the same man, that scenario that I just talked about,
Yeah.
I beat some real good players playing that way because I just
A
outsmarted
lot of
them.
strategy. Yeah.
Because here's what it is: you push out. Say I play Keith. He push out, and I know what he's going to do with this shot. He's going to wing that ball.
Yeah,
and
he's
go
going to
around,
shoot at everything. Yeah.
And I don't want him to shoot it, although maybe I could do it too, but I don't like my chances. So what I do is I re-push, put it in a position where whoever shoots the next shot is going to have to play safe from it. They're going to have to hit it and drive it to a rail and get behind another ball or something,
Yeah.
But they're not going to take a shot at it. So That's how I would beat some better players.
Well, you put him in the position for let's say a dead nut safety, but you know he's going to swing at it. So even if he gave it back to you, you're fine. If he takes it, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's where, like, if a player really gets married to a particular style, you know, it can be detrimental in that scenario, you know. You got to be able to play the complete game, you know, not just like, I know Keith can play defense, you know, but that's definitely not his, you know, he doesn't lean in that direction.
Yeah. And even when you're playing the good players and they push out and you know they're going to play safe, there's nothing but a safe here, and it's a routine safe. You don't take it from them. You let them shoot again, because they will make mistakes sometimes just playing the simple safe. They wind up hitting a little bit too hard, too soft, and give you a shot.
You could use it as a bit of a maneuver too in manipulating your opponent's stroke. Let's say if your opponent is, you know, likes to swing them around and all that stuff, and you put them into these little positions where you start getting them playing that defensive stuff, right? And you start getting them poking balls around. Well, next time they got one to swing at, it's going to be a little tougher.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? Because they can't remember how to hit it like that.
Yeah.
This is a strategy that I see the Dominguez crew camp use. I mean, they are highly defensive players, Oscar and Ernesto, but it is their game plan. It's their game plan is to make it a defensive game, because most players don't play this way, and all they're really doing is breaking your stroke down the whole time.
That's right.
They're breaking yours down. Now they're used to it. This is their game. You know, so is their stroke going to break down in this? No, not any little bit.
Yeah.
But if you're a shooter and they get you pushing the damn ball all the time, even though you're playing 9-ball, you know, not only you're probably giving up ball in hand because they play pretty good defense, but you're shooting all this stuff that's outside of your normal, you know, way of playing. So even when the ball's open wide up, which they will at some point, you know, you can't run two of them. That's pretty. It's nasty. It's nasty. If you see it coming, it helps, you know.
Yeah.
But if you don't see it coming, oh man, you start talking to yourself.
Well, you know, in a shootout, even for years after it kind of faded away because that Texas Express came in, you know, one foul ball in hand.
Right.
That even then, the better players for the bigger money preferred playing shootout.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of faded away.
The gamblers always prefer a more strategic game.
Yeah, they want a game where, you know, the luck is kind of disappearing away.
Right.
So,
Which, I mean, sure, 9-ball's a gambling game or action game too, but not like One Pocket. One Pocket is far more strategy. Of course, the handicapping, there's so much more you can do with handicapping. But, yeah, it's the heavy strategy games that people want to play. You know, for money anyway.
Yeah.
Because, like, as we get wiser about the game, well, unfortunately, some of our motor skills, you know, don't continue to improve. But if you got that kind of knowledge base, you're still an incredibly formidable opponent, if not stronger. You know, if you're playing a highly strategized game. See, he's got that piece of chalk right in his hand.
Right in his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Al Garcia we got back at the table, and he's holding that piece of chalk in his bridge hand.
All he's got to do is make the 7-ball. 8-ball's hanging, 9-ball's hanging.
Yeah. He's
tough.
Looks like he's gonna get his team a little closer. Right now we're at 7-5. I like his chances to run out here.
Oh my goodness, unnecessary speed. Why all that speed with the hanging 8-ball?
Right. See, why is the cue ball a foot away from the 8 right now when he could have been 7 feet away and just be fine?
Just cinch the ball, just make it with the proper speed.
Right.
And I think earlier I talked to you about that extra speed on these balls that with these tables, that you got to hit the right speed, so in case you err a little bit and rubs the rails or hits the point, that is still going to go in.
He got a little lucky that he didn't leave him a wide open shot. He can only probably see about 2/3 of this ball, and he can't see the part of the ball that he needs to make it.
Well, I think he can kick from behind it, like he's looking at it. Kick from behind, you got a good chance of hooking.
You might be able to rub the top of it, cross over it, and then leave the cue ball under the 9.
Yeah, I like
But
that.
that's a lot of
I think I
distance.
prefer put some separation between the balls, even though the 8-ball's hanging.
Oh, that's
wow,
nice.
that was well planned.
Now it looks like Al can hit the whole, most of the ball,
Not enough
but
to
not
make
enough
it,
to
though.
make it. No.
Yeah.
So he's going to be playing defense right back.
If
But
he-
you're absolutely right. That earlier 7-ball shot, all Al needed to do was pocket it, and maybe the cue ball would have hit the rail and come out about a foot. That's all you ever had
Yeah.
to do with it. And he got a little bit lucky in his lead.
Right,
Pulled
yeah, I
off by
could
Al.
have just sold that out.
Yeah. And this is a critical time during the match. They're past the
Well, what do
halfway
you do
mark.
here? You got two choices: try to kick it going across the table, or put the 9-ball on top of the 7-ball and hope it doesn't line up.
You know, I'd have to give some good long thought about it, because I like my chances at hitting that 7-ball
Yeah, but
square
look
in
at
the
it
face.
this way:
But
even if you hit it against a decent player, you're still going to
and
stall
with
out.
and with that 8 sitting in front of the pocket, even if I left somebody weird, the 8 sitting in front of the hole, they could find a combination, find a carom.
Look, he's doing my suggestion here.
But
Well, he hit
the
it
balls
too
are too
hard
far
and they
away.
lined up.
Exactly.
He
The
hit it
balls
too
are
hard, they
too.
lined up.
So Al's got a 7-9 combination.
A little softer, and even if you, I mean, what's the chances that they line up straight in if you hit it real soft and put it right on top of it?
Right. You know, overall, he hit that, even though it lined up like that. Oh, he missed it.
Yeah, so
Look
it
at
paid
that.
off.
But even though, if they hadn't lined up like that, he wouldn't have a combination. But he hit it too hard anyway, because even when the 9 hit the 7, it bumped it out enough that, let's say the combination wasn't on, he had room to get the cue ball in there and shoot the 7 up table.
Yeah, naturally it'd have to be hit real soft.
Yeah, you
just
want
make
them
it-
to
And as I
really
say,
stick.
As long as they didn't line up straight in, you were back in the ball game.
Yeah. Or at least you had a chance.
I think the nerves are playing a little part on
think
these
so.
last few shots here.
In fact, I think that the nerves started with Al's missed 7, because that didn't make any sense the way he hit it.
Yeah.
I think it was nerves is why it got hit that way. Right, because now he's 9 feet away from it, and I'm sure he's happy enough with this.
Sure.
So
yeah.
what did you need to get 1 foot away from it for?
This is a real first, pretty firm.
For sure. And you know what? I wouldn't play this necessarily all the way down to the 9-ball.
Just like that.
That's just fine.
That's good, yeah.
Because you know
See,
what?
he's a smart player.
Every now and then, I'll hit that ball fat, and the cue ball will come into
In
the
that
side
side pocket, yeah.
Exactly. Well, Al ended up getting that game, and now we're close again. We're back 7-6 with the runouts in the lead by 1. It's a race to 10. If a team reaches 10, of course, they win the match and they advance to the championship round. But it is possible that the match could tie up at 9-9. Now, if there is a tie, then they'll go into the spot shot round, which did happen in the last match. And in spot shots, each one of the 3 players from each team will shoot 2 times, and the other team will get to shoot 2 times as well. And whoever's in the lead of those spot shots, after those spot shots are shot, that's the winner. But if they tie there, we go into a sudden death spot shots. Each one of them just shoots 1. So the first one answered, the first point that is unanswered is the winner.
Okay.
And you know, when I first met Al here, he didn't have the capability to hit a rack that hard.
I know. I was very impressed with the way he hit it right now. Very good.
Yeah.
Solid hit. Didn't make anything, but he moved everything well.
He works on his game. I like that, you know. I like a player that works on their game. And most of the folks in this particular division, this heads-up division, you know, when they're not playing league night, what are they doing? They're out working on their game. You know, and actually there are quite a few of them get together outside of league nights. You know, a few of them have pool tables at home or whatever, and they set up some ring games and challenge matches amongst themselves. My co-league operator, Scott, he's got a table over at home, and it's pretty common on a Thursday night that a bunch of these guys will get together at his place and, you know, mix it up. It's real healthy that they keep doing stuff outside of the league matches.
He certainly put a nice stroke on that shot there.
Yeah. I think he probably got a little fed up with how the last rack went at the end.
Yeah, he missed that 7-ball. That was the game, well, that last game.
Yeah. My wife likes to call this angry focus. So he might be getting some angry focus at the moment. And don't we all do that? We don't really start bearing down until our back's up against the wall. And you know, this is a bad habit that players can get into. I know quite a few players that are like this. They get out and play in their match and they just kind of rolling along, trying to settle in, but they don't really end up bearing down or really focusing until their opponent, you know, is putting several games on them and it's starting to look like a losing proposition. And now they got to dig their heels in, and I'm thinking, why didn't you do that from the damn get-go?
Sometimes it's hard to shift the gears back, you know.
Exactly, because you already lulled yourself into whatever. I know plenty of players like this, and this essentially that we're talking about, this is a mental error.
Sure, yeah, you know, and this is what I tell people, you know, when you're playing matches and you wind up with an opponent that's, you know, not in your capabilities, somebody that you should win, you know, that you will have a tendency to kind of let up a little bit, thinking that you're going to have more opportunities. Well, actually, this is the time to really bear down, because in these matches, these are the matches that are going to prepare you for the tougher matches.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even if you're getting by those matches, just skating by them like you thought you were going to, but you didn't bear down, now when you come into the match with a strong player, you don't got it. It's not there.
Yeah, no, you gotta
and
bear down.
they're going to punish you.
Yeah. Of course, that's what they say in all sports. You know, you play the weak teams and you got to kick their butts, and then you play even with the top teams, and you'll be all right.
Yeah. And let's see, Rafael wins that game, so the runouts advance their lead slightly. It looks like 8 games to 6.
Is it 8 or 7?
It's moving to 8. 8 to 6. So they need 2 more games.
So if it's 9-9, that's a tie.
That's a tie, and then the tiebreaker is the spot shots.
But you're really racing to 10.
Correct.
Okay.
A tie means no, or getting to 10 means no spot shots.
Right. Okay.
But if they both get to 9, spot it up. And we're also doing a free raffle here for all of the members of the BCA, or the Foothill BCA Pool League. Everybody that showed up gets a single raffle ticket, and towards the end of the day, we're going to draw from those raffle tickets, and somebody's going to win a pool cue, $375 pool cue. Second prize is a $125 cue case, and then third prize is $75 little accessories prize pack.
The cue that I'm looking at right now.
That's the cue you're looking at.
Beauty.
Yeah, that's the cue you're looking at. And that's got like a flame veneer. I think it's Cocobolo in the front, Cocobolo on the handle. The black on there is not ebony. I think that's lacquer. If you want that to be real ebony, you're going to pay another $1,000 for that. So we're trying to add some little things in here and there, not only so that just for everybody to enjoy being a part of the league, but we want to get more people coming out to the championship Saturday and make like an end of the season party out of it, you know. And we'll probably in the next one throw a little tournament in there, so even though the players in the league that didn't advance far enough to playoffs, if they come out to support the event, we'll have like a side tournament or something for them to participate in, so they still get to come out and play and compete. And we got Tim back up. Tim's playing, looks like Bonnie.
Well, if Tim wins both these games, then he closes the match out, right?
Right, then it's over, yeah. So it's captain versus captain. And in fact, at the end of the season, the last match of the season, these two teams played each other with road players coming out on top. And that's actually how road players advance to the playoffs. Had they lost that match, they wouldn't be here.
Which team was the wild card team?
The Centennials that won the last in the spot shots. Yeah, that was the wild card. It's a nice bank there by Bonnie. Oh, boy, that sure looked to me like it was going in the hole.
It was nice. It was position and everything.
Good speed. But yeah, that's why the Railbirds, they were the favorites, because they actually finished in at the end of the season, they were in first place.
That's really a heartbreaker when you wind up winning the league, being in first place, and then don't get through the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, you know, they're still in it, and they got an opportunity for some prize money, but the best they can do is third.
Yeah.
The best they can do is third. So they'll play, when we get into the championship match here for first and second, they'll be playing that third place match on an adjacent table at the same time. So we won't see that team again on the stream unless the championship match ends early. But you know, of the teams that potentially could have been selected as the wild card, the Centennials were probably the most volatile of them. They were a team. They were in the fourth place position. So, you know, it could have been a team that was in fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, or eighth, you know, but it happened to be the fourth place team that was selected in the wild card draw. So that's probably the exact team that the Railbirds didn't want to get the wild card.
Right, yeah. They were the most competitive for them, yeah.
Right. And I think they had been on a little bit of a streak, a nice little run of wins late in the season. They didn't do so well early in the season. They started coming alive second half. So they had some momentum. Did you shoot that right-handed?
Right-handed. Can you imagine?
Right-handed Tim Padgett. Four ball looks pretty close to the rail. It looks like she's got a clean shot to cut it in the hole, but it's pretty close.
Well, if she makes it and don't hit it too hard, she'll have good position on the 5 ball for the side pocket.
That's a tight lane there for the cue ball to go right up in, but it's pretty natural.
She hit it pretty nice. I think it wound up on the rail, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks like she got maybe a little bit of a lucky lead. It's close enough to the rail that he probably can't just spin it in with the left. He might be able to go to the rail first with right and kick it in.
Yeah, but that's pretty hard.
That is.
You might just want to just get it out of there.
It looks like he's loading up with right. Is he getting closer to center? I think he got closer to center there, yeah. Oh, he cut it right in.
He had a lot of room. Yeah. If he had that much room, I'm surprised he didn't get better position on the 5.
Just didn't play the speed right, yeah. Or he probably wanted to hit it. Well, you know, he hit it the way he had to hit it to make it. If he had hit it thinner, he'd have run even further up, right? If he had hit it fatter, he wouldn't have made the ball.
Yeah.
So he just misread it.
I like playing safe here and put the ball on the short reel and get the cue ball.
Yeah.
So that the 9 ball's in the way. that might be the best opportunity when you're playing somebody that you feel your skills are better than.
Yeah, that's a smart shot. I don't know that he actually got safe. It was the right shot, but he hit it. I don't know, too fast.
No, he was trying to make it.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was trying to make it.
Boy, it sure looked like he was playing the safe.
No, because I know Tim. He would play. If I was playing a real good player, yeah, I'd try to make that and get out. But against a weaker player, then I think the safety was the thing in order.
So he looks pretty good to be able to try to get out from here. Maybe he's got to draw the ball a little bit. You know what? I think he tried too hard to hold his ball.
Hold the cue ball there, yeah.
Exactly. He just tried a little too hard to hold his cue ball there and forgot to make the five.
Yeah.
Where it really looked like he did have some angle to go left. So I think he was supposed to go ahead and draw his ball and play the six in the other corner.
That shot, I'm sure what he was trying to do was hit it just like he did, but he was trying to hit the left and make the five ball throw over. That way he can hold the cue ball.
Yeah, like use some left spin to throw that ball a little bit right
yeah.
so he could hold it.
And if you don't play that shot that way, then you're really not playing it right, because you need to play it that way. You have to have the confidence that you're going to do that. That's what makes you a better player than your opponent.
The wrong stroke came out.
Yeah.
It was the wrong stroke.
But I think he played it right. This is where he needs to be right-handed. But Bonnie's got some opportunities.
Now the captains on most of these teams are generally the stronger players in the division, but not absolutely.
Yeah.
And then captain's got, besides just kind of looking to be strong for their team and do well individually, I mean, they got to keep things together, get their team motivated, get their people there, to actually compete, and they got quite a little bit to manage. So there's a lot of weight on their shoulders. So even coming in this match, two captains playing against one another, it's not just about shooting the balls. There's a lot, their teammates are expecting them to lead, to step forward and get it done. So it's kind of a lot of pressure. And actually, I think that's a great opportunity, again, for people to improve in their games. Like even if, let's say, the competition maybe isn't so stiff that the competition in and of itself is going to help you, maybe you step up and captain a team, because that's going to raise the pressure level. Now, does this ball bank cross side?
Yeah, it does.
He went walking down the street like he had made it already.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The 7 and 8 are not fitting all that well. You need to get that 7 ball pretty straight if you want to get a good shot on the 8 ball. If not, you're going to have to go across table back and forth for the 8 ball.
Personally, I don't mind where the 7 is too much, because I do like to spin my ball quite a little bit. And even if I get let's say even I've got an angle where her cue ball is right now, if I was on the 7 like that, well, I would twirl it in and leave my cue ball there for the 8 in the upper right. But that's like a preference,
Yeah.
Where I think many other players feel they need to get it straighter than that, where I'd be just fine with it. Yeah. And even if I got like she is now, okay, well then I'm going to go a couple rails.
Go back and forth. But for this level of play, it's not all that easy.
No, yeah.
So,
because also there's doubt in their mind just about making the ball.
Yeah, and put that along with the pressure involved here.
Right.
The match is winding down toward the end.
Looks like she's going 3 rails. Oh, she was going 2. Yeah, well, all those shots become quite a bit more difficult and down at the end. But that's the best part, man. Down towards the end, all the drama, all the pressure, and then you got that ridiculous tough shot, and you know, finding that place within yourself to you know, do it right and do it then.
That's funny. You find so many people say, "Oh, I love it." You know, I love that.
Oh, God, that's wonderful. Well, it's most wonderful when you persevere through it.
But meanwhile, it ain't all wonderful.
No. It doesn't work out that way 100% of the time or anything like that. But it's never going to work itself out if you don't get there, you know? Boy, I remember listening to some commentary with Buddy Hall and Bill and Cardona. That was kind of a tough break missing that one. I thought that was one he was the favorite to make. But Buddy and Billy, they were talking a little bit about Grady Matthews, and of course both of them, of course, had experience commentating with him, and there was a particular part of this match that there was a lot of tension, a lot of pressure, and Buddy starts laughing, you know, that this is the exact moment that Grady would love it if somebody miscued. Right down to that, you know, to that match-winning ball, all the pressure in the world, and somebody miscues. That's rough, man. Unkind.
Well, look at the shot that Bonnie wound up in. This is really a difficult shot here because, you know, of course, you and I know that you put the ball in the corner and just draw the ball.
Big spin in the corner.
Yeah, she's going to draw it.
I just hope she can spin enough to beat it. Yep.
She hit it nice,
it.
Very nice.
Very nice. Bonnie gets them a little bit closer. We got 8 games for the runouts and 7 games for the road players.
8-7?
8-7.
So, and Corey, what's happening with the BCA for the nationals for the bar table leagues with the new rating system? Are you familiar with what's going on?
Yeah, and I wish I was the right person to ask that question. You know, as league operators, we got a certain obligation to know something about it, but what we've been told thus far is just that nationals, formerly at nationals, you could kind of piecemeal a team together as long as people were like open class players, or they had different levels of player. You could call them an open player, an advanced player, a master player, or something like that. And there were certain limitations that a team could only have, I don't know, this number of whatever players it is, or if you had a bunch of master players or whatever they were supposed to play in the master level event, something like that. But they've eliminated all of that, and they are introducing what I think that's by like a color designation, like a gold, a silver, a bronze, or something like that division.
Right. Yeah.
And what they're using to determine who's eligible to play on the teams in those divisions is Fargo ratings. And so I guess the Fargo rating system, they've been using data collected over a number of years, like every semi-public tournament that's happened, let's say even like the event that we're at here today. The data here, wins and losses and whatever else they use to compute the rating, is collected and stored for whatever player, so they can assign a rating over a period of time for an individual player. So now the BCA says, well, what they'll do is say that, okay, you're going to add up all your players' Fargo ratings, and if they total this, you're in the gold division. If they total this, you're in the bronze division or the silver or whatever it is. So it's going to be based on this Fargo rating, you know? And so I didn't, until 2 days ago, figure out how the hell to even look up a Fargo rating, you know? And because for one thing is the website, it's not Fargo rate or whatever.com.
Okay,
If you go there, it's just some sort of like a, I don't know, a little bit about us page. But if you want to actually look up the ratings, it's kind of mystical what page where you're supposed to go. And I found it through the internet forums. But you're supposed to sign up and give them your email address. Well, now you can punch in anybody's name, and boom, there's their Fargo rating. Okay, so apparently everybody in our league, because we do report the season's data to Q Sports International, operating the BCA, all that information is public, so that's all gone into the Fargo system. So everybody in this room has a Fargo rating, whether they realize it or not. You know, and of course, if they don't realize it, then they wouldn't even know what their Fargo rating is and how to figure all that out. And this is all becoming effective immediately. The 2016 BCA Nationals is going to be using those systems as far as qualifying teams for different divisions. And you know, people need to sign up by May. So, you know,
So
people need to get on the ball and figure out what your rating
when
is.
you put your team together and you have and you know what each player's rating is, say you have so many points, you already know what division you're going to be playing in.
Yeah. But let's say if you put together your team and you want to play with these people, whoever those people, your friends or whatever it is, well, you'll look up all of them and find out what their Fargo ratings are, and you know, add them all up. That'll, I guess, determines what division you're going to play in. But now, what if you want to play in a particular division? You're not just playing with your friends. Well, then you need to make sure to pick people that aren't going to overqualify you for it, because of course you wouldn't be able to play in that division. You have to play another one. And anyway, that's the explanation that I've gotten. Which this was over about 3 phone conversations to get this far. You know, with some of the decision makers over there, and I can't say that I really completely understand it just yet.
Yeah. Well, I have a hard time trying to understand what a new player that just got into the league and never really did any competition of any kind.
They have a beginning number. Apparently, this Fargo system has like a new player number that they start with.
So
And
it would be somewhat high then, I would think.
I don't know. Their system, it's I don't know. You know, I looked up like Shane Van Boning. He's I guess it's on a I don't know where the scale begins, but it probably ends at 1,000, something like an AccuStat. You know, if you play perfect, you shot 1,000 or whatever it is. And Shane is in the 800s somewhere. And like I looked up mine, I think it's like 720 or something like that, seven something anyway. But if you look up the top players in the United States, they're all in the 700s except for Shane, basically. And they're all like, you know, like Rodney was like, I don't know, 740 or something like that.
Yeah.
And a new player starts somewhere in the 500s, I think. You know, and then through the matches they play, of course, that can all get
Right, it'll change.
It'll change, but it also changes based on not only whether you win or not, but based on who you play. Where like AccuStats had nothing to do with who you played. It was how you played, right? Like if you made a safety error, or I don't know, missed a ball. I forgot what the AccuStats were, but if you made errors, just what they deemed as errors in your game, well, then you got nicked for this and that and the other thing, right? Your opponent didn't matter. You shot something and your opponent shot something. Well, this, in a Fargo rating, your opponent does matter. Who you beat changes the scale. You know, let's say if I go in and play a very weak player and I win that match, well, my rating is not going to go up. Hell, it might even go down, you know, because it doesn't really matter, you know. But if I go in and play a Shane and I win that match, well, it goes up astronomically, you know, because of how strong or how highly he's rated. And it continues on. This is another thing, is it continues on even if you're not playing. You know, like I haven't played hardly any in quite a few months, but theoretically my rating can continue to go up if the people that I had beaten in the past get stronger. So I really wish I understood how the whole thing works, but you know, That's about all. That's about all I got. I don't know. Maybe I was the right person to ask. But anyway, it seems interesting, and I like stats as much as anybody else, and that sounds kind of cool. I just hope we can all that we all have time for it to make sense, because Nationals is coming in 5 months, and you got to sign up within 3 months. So,
Well, Bonnie's up at the table has got a chance to tie the score.
she does. She's got a nice shot on the 7.
Yeah, she can get on the 8, and the other 2 balls should be routine.
And you know, somebody asked me another good question about that whole business. Says, well, what about, you know, and I mentioned this specifically because of you, what about the seniors division? Right? Because these are age qualification divisions, right?
Yeah.
Will they still be? Or will they be Fargo ratings?
I think they're going to go Fargo rating.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so
why
does that
not?
mean they eliminate the age divisions?
Yeah.
Because I remember for quite some time, if I remember correctly, even though you met the age qualifications for certain events, they barred you from the events as
That's
being
true.
too strong a player for this division. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any, you know, bigger pile of horse shit than that. But but you know. So does that happen again, do you? They say, oh, well, you're playing a 770, and that's too strong for a 70, you know, whatever-year-old.
Well, I know one time I sent my entry fee in, and they sent
Oh,
it back.
look at that shot. Look at that shot, Frank.
Oh, well, look at it.
What a nice jump
Yeah.
shot with a deep hook
That
there.
could be a game winner.
That was a nice shot there. I like that jump cue that he's got there.
That's nice.
I want to see what that is. That's probably a secret weapon that Tim made, and he's not going to tell anybody.
She needs to hit this one if she wants to keep her team alive.
Yeah. Of course, if Tim's team wins this game, that puts him on the hill.
It puts them on the hill, and then we got a new players come in, right?
New players, yeah.
Oh, she's going too wide.
I think you're right. Looks like she's going into the
Going
8
towards
ball.
the 8 ball, yeah. Make the 8 ball better.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So now this is just a
now
stop
it's
shot.
routine, yeah.
It's a Cosmo, right?
Yeah. You got to run that 8 ball. You run it over maybe about 6 inches forward to get a little angle on that 9 ball, but that's it. And from the 7 ball, you should be able to get perfect on the 8 to run it forward.
Yeah. And that 9's sitting so close to that pocket that it's just pretty easy. Just need angle.
I don't think he went forward enough.
No, he's on the wrong side of it, but he can probably draw his ball straight back. Oh, he's going to go around the table.
Going around the table.
Oh, really? Did you see what he did there? He lined up high left and then jacked his cue up in the stroke to draw that ball. Instead of addressing the ball.
Right, yeah, he gave me
low.
the appearance that he was going around the table.
Exactly.
And then when he hit it, he was just the opposite. He was trying to draw it.
Yeah.
But it was the 8 ball. He didn't run up far enough when he shot the 8 ball. I like banking this ball cross corner and bringing the cue ball for shape. One pocket's fine.
That's a tough shot here. Just trying to go high ball, two rails out of the top.
Yeah, that was
a tough shot.
tough, but came out good again.
Yeah, I don't know I wouldn't call that the wrong shot. I would say that's just a tough shot. You know, even at her skill level, she's got a stroke that can get there.
I don't know.
But
That 10 ball's pretty far up, and the ball was not. It was kind of straight, so you had a lot of angle. Not enough angle to really get the cue ball.
It didn't have a lot of angle, no.
Yeah, you
go
have
right.
to power that ball to get it around.
Right. I've seen her hit that. I've seen her hit those kind from time to time. Let's say it would be for probably a lower percentage shot for her. But
I think you'll find a lot of top-notch players banking that ball instead. Percentages. If you make it, you got shape. If you don't make it, it's
playing
not
it cross corner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, with some inside?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And as more of a rotation player versus a one pocket player myself, I don't play those too much. They got to be real close to the corner pocket where because I can't read the angle.
All right, Tim finally got a shot to win the game. She had her chances. She had some good shots at it. Although this still got a little funny angle, but you got to shoot it real soft to keep a shot on the 10.
Gonna try to bump into the 10 maybe. Okay, you could slow roll it. All right, so looks like Tim's about to put his team on the hill.
That feeling when you make the ball before the game winner and you wind up perfect and you feel like, wow.
Oh yeah. But you know what? You can get in trouble with that. You really can. Like you definitely feel a little relieved, right? But still make certain that you pay attention and make this game-winning ball.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people get up there and haphazardly half-ass it because it's too easy. Bobble it, bump the cue ball, miss cue.
Well, yeah.
Anything stupid can happen.
Because when you get down on the shot, you have nothing but negative thoughts running through your mind because the shots prior to that, you were thinking positive to make the ball, shoot the right speed, get the right position, put the cue ball exactly there. But now when you get on the game-winning ball, there's nothing to do but make the ball. And the only thing you start thinking about, don't hit it too hard. Don't scratch. Don't do this. Don't do that. You wind up making a mistake. What you should do is make that ball and concentrate where you want the cue ball to be exactly because that's what you did on the prior shot.
Play the shot, not just the ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you watch a lot of good players, they'll shoot kind of a semi-difficult shot. They shoot it, and it's the game winner, and they made it, and there's no chance for scratching, nothing. And everybody's applauding, but the good player will glance back to see if that cue ball wound up exactly where he was trying to get it.
Yeah. And in fact, I mean, on the game winner shot, some of my students I was teaching this is when they get down on let's say they're playing 8-ball, they're shooting that 8-ball in the hole, and many of them just maybe out of habit or the skill level players they're around, they just kind of roll the ball in and the cue ball goes somewhere. And I said, oh no, you don't play the game winning ball like that. You shoot it in the pocket and you play your cue ball to a neutral spot. Which basically means get it to the center of a rail if it's nearby and let it die there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like make sure that thing's not coming anywhere near a pocket.
Exactly.
Because they sure look at it just like, oh, all I need to do is roll this 8 in and don't pay any mind to where the damn cue ball's going. Well, plus, you don't want to roll your game-winning ball in. What if you hit it too soft?
Yeah. No,
and it doesn't even drop. It sits in front of any.
It's also the kind of cases where you make the cue ball do what you want it to do. You don't let it do what it wants to do. You
tell it what to do. Yeah.
And that way you keep your mind busy too. You're really concentrating on what you need to do with the shot.
Yeah.
Now he had the option to roll out there if he wanted to, didn't he? But he didn't.
Did he? Was that just after the break?
Yeah.
In this division, they're pretty good about how to use a push out, and they're very familiar with it. But our handicap division, not so much, because we have more novice players in that division, and they even come from backgrounds where a push out wasn't offered to them.
Okay.
Or wasn't available.
Yeah. In this particular case, I don't think he had a good push out anyway, because the ball was sitting pretty close to the pocket.
So Bob's team here is on the hill. Bob wins this game. They're going to go ahead and advance. Looks like he's playing Joey.
So if the other team that's behind wins both games, then it goes to a tiebreaker, right?
We got 7-9-7 here. Yeah. So and it looks like these were 2 new players, right? So if Joe wins both of these games, they'll go to a tiebreaker. know. Bob's looking pretty good in
I'll tell you, that was a good,
know?
solid hit with some inside English and control the cue ball, nice speed. He wants to get that fireball straight in so they can just stop it.
It's good to see his game come up a little bit. Last season in this position, it was looking like he was struggling quite a little bit. But you know, part of it too is obviously we've got him on a TV table, it's a live stream, even with the commentary. As much as we may try for them not to hear us, they do.
But they hear it a little bit, yeah. Well, you get big ears when you're down there and the tension's on,
Right.
you do.
And then, you know, there's a little bit of an adjustment for them because most of these players haven't experienced that stuff. And, you know, once you get out and do it often enough, well, you know, stuff kind of becomes white noise. You don't really notice it so much. But so at least this is his own, and many of these folks, this is their second opportunity at this. So they're playing a little bit stronger than they did last time. They're able to settle down a little bit. That's what we were thinking about this division too, and just getting players in it to help them develop their game, because they're just, you know, every week playing stronger players than they're used to playing on such a regular basis, and they may even come into this division and not do so well, you know, or look at the standard and go, well, I'm not doing that well, but then they go back and play in the things that they used to play in and realize how much better of a player they really are, because now the opponent that they're facing that used to be difficult for them, they go, wow, that person makes so many mistakes, because they've gotten used to playing a better player. Their standard has gone up whether they realize it or not.
Right.
That was nice.
Nice shot. He's on the wrong side of it, though.
I wonder if that might be a nickname that we could give him, because actually he kind of does that stuff a lot. Wrong side Joey. He might like that, actually, because it would help him get action.
Oh, he shot it with inside. I thought he'd go outside and go two rails out.
See? Wrong side.
That was asking for a lot to bring that ball back with inside English.
Yeah, he's funny. Joey's a nice guy, but he really likes the darker side of the game.
Match was over if he would have made that one.
Well, I see some of the rail birds starting to float back in the room, because they'll be back up just after this match. Actually, they won't be up on the TV table. They may need to wait for one of the other divisions matches to end, but because the next match on the TV table will be the winners here versus the Centennials.
Well, this could be the end of it.
Yeah. Oh, did you get too close? No, it's just right.
Would you play this night in the slide or in the corner?
Corner pocket all day long. I'm just hitting that with a little bit of low and popping off the rail.
Well,
Just like that.
you did good.
Yeah, no, I would not. I would never float that ball forward for the side pocket. That almost sounded like a test, Frank. I thought you knew me better than that.
It's over with.
All right, the runouts are the winner, and they're going to advance to
It's over
the
with.
championship match.
Hey, man.
That's it, Joe. Yeah, runouts advance to the championship match versus the Centennials. So we'll be back up here shortly, folks, with that one. That's due to go off in about 10 minutes at 4:30. All right, Frank, well, we're going to get to take a little break here.
All right.
All right, we'll see you back in about 10, folks. About 10.
Sometimes I go on by feeling.
Hey, that's your first playoff win.
Yeah, well, you can't run out every time.
I know, I was nervous last night. Oh, is that Cheryl done? Yeah. Okay, can I see? Or how about you guys?